Good afternoon. It is December 15th, 2022, and we had a downtrend day today. Um, you did have to just be playing the short-term trends, but this was a long-term downtrend. Uh, I just don't think there was a lot of solid trades today, but I could be wrong. I'm gonna have to check with Mac, but I just don't see, some of these might be red, but the way I'm seeing it, I had to mark them green. We haven't gotten a new low on this channel yet, so looks like we got two legs of correction. Um, so maybe that's happening now. We'll see by the end of the video. Anyway, let's take a look at these trades. So we made this leg down in the overnight, and we got a break and two legs down to a new low. Um, and then we form this range. And then 5 o'clock comes in right here. We're breaking back into the range. So I would guess that a lot of people came in right at 5:15 and went short on this engulfing bar and took like a failure. So maybe you do that. It looks like a lower high back into the range. It looks like a trap. It looks like it's trapped longs. It does. So, and you can see it looks like a lot of people like that. We come back, we test the resistance that was support once, a second time, come back here, test it a third time with a second entry short. I think you take that. And we're just riding this midline. Not sure. Yeah, you might have that drawn as a trend line by this point. And the way I have it drawn, um, we come up short of the trend channel right here. So you get this first entry. Actually, this is a failure right here. I'm not sure if you would be taking that. I mean, we did get this move down, and you could even look at this as like one move down sideways, two legs down to a new low. But with us making new lows and lower highs, I'm not sure I would be taking a failure. So anyway, you have that. It looks like there's a breakout side and a move to a new high, two legs up to a new high, and then we get this lower high. And I think there's four ticks back to the EMA. Let's see, 81.25. Yeah, there's a lot of room back to the EMA. So I like this trade. I just had to mark it green because we just made we tried to break back in so many times back into this range. Um, and this time we made a new high over this one. Um, and it's 5 bars overlapping before this signal bar. So that's the reason I marked it green. However, I really like this entry. And you can see a lot of people liked it. Forms this range. And I just think this is too sideways to be going. Even though it looks like a double test right here. Um, but that's just in the middle of the range. So we break out, test it once, probably test it a second time over here. I don't see anything in there that I like. You get this first entry, failed second entry, but uh, all those dojis, I think you're better off sitting out. Plus, that would probably be the low of your trend channel. So best to sit tight there, I think. Turns out to be a really good move, though. We come down here, we're too far from the EMA. We get a break, two legs down to a new low, and then we get this leg of correction, and that forms a larger range. But you can see this leg of correction, we get a break. Um, this is the real convincing break. You get, but it's two legs of correction and then two legs up to a new high, and then we sell off, and you could I'll mark this green, but with that being the low of the channel, and you should have that by now, it's just risky because we might go to the other side of the channel. However, um, you know, we get a break of this, move to a new high. It's a lower high. I think there's 4 ticks back to the EMA on this one, so I think that's why I didn't mark it actually. Yeah. So I just think that there's too many things uh, stacked against this lower high, including these dojis up here. We break out of this range to the low side. It rockets up to the high side, breaks out a little bit, but doesn't continue to back to the other side of the channel. I don't see anything in here that I think you can take. I mean, let's see. Yeah, see, this looks like one leg up. So you do get a move to a new high in this like double test, but it's very congested up there. And we get this pullback. This turns out to be a trend. Um, and this kind of looks like a spike and channel down. But anyway, this turns out to be a trend. So you do get a second entry short off that trend channel, but I don't like the way this looks. It's just not you in real time. I don't think you'd be sure of this. Uh, you do get this failure right here. That's right on the midline. You might take that, man, on a day like today. This is a strong downtrend. You might take that, and we do end up coming to the other side of this channel. We bounce. You get a second entry. It doesn't trigger, so probably just want to sit that out. And this would be your signal bar at that point, so you don't want to take that. Form this little range, comes out. Uh, some people probably had their range drawn like that, maybe on like a different chart. So you get this double test. That's I don't know. Actually, that's not a double test. That's a just 2 tests of the resistance. But you do get a double test right here. So maybe you take this lower high. Both times you're going into the EMA. That's a second entry short. Maybe you take either of these, but it's choppy and um, I don't know. But this does look like a strong move down. But if you don't take either of these, you get a failure right here. Uh, and it's right off the midline, whereas these are going into the EMA and the midline. This is below the midline, so you might take that. And we can't make it to the low, back to the lows of the channel, so we come up, make a correction. This one right here, you see we get a first entry, second entry short, and it just looks like a trap to me, and there's so much space back to the EMA. I think it's worth risking that. And it looks like an overshoot of this flat channel. So like a breakout. I think that might be worth the risk. Technically, this is a failure right here, although this tick higher right here doesn't look like anything. So I'd probably, maybe, I mean, you might consider this one because that kind of looks like a failure. Um, it's a tough call though. Here you get a second entry short. And actually, this is technically a failure too. So you're just going into lows, man. It's aggressive. A lot of that today. Come down here though, and you get a second entry short off the EMA. Unfortunately, 5 bars stacked up. Not a great setup. And then we're just chopping back and forth for a while. And that leads to a break. And I'm not going long in any of this. this is probably a trend channel and you get a second entry long, but I don't think you would know that in real time. Come up here, this eventually breaks, get this sideways stuff, breaks out lower, fails, comes up, and now it looks like maybe we're finally making a move down to a new low. So a lot of price action today, or at least that's how I felt. I don't know if it was actually high volume, but that's what it feels like, and just not a lot of trades. So hopefully tomorrow we'll get some more trades. Have a great day. I'll be back tomorrow.